How's it going, guys? This is James from Butler Farms, and I'm up here in the shed on a rainy and dreary 1st of December and still prepping some of my items for getting ready for seed starting in the spring. In the last video I showed you my grow lights, my heating pads, my rack that I use, and today I thought I would continue that and show you what I use to actually start my seeds where they actually are before I put them over there under the grow lights. Very simple process, very simple tools, and I think you'll find out that it's pretty easy to do. So let me get it turned around here and I will show you what it is that I use. Alright, the first thing I was going to show you here, this is a seed block, this is a soil blocker I should say. I bought it online through Amazon. Now this one makes 4 soil blocks at a time, and what that allows me to do is take my homemade seed starting, potting soil, whatever you would like to call it. I mix several different things in it. I've shown you in my compost videos that, and I do mix some soil in with it. And that's what I use to start it with. Now, one of the things about these soil blockers is your soil needs to be pretty moist when you try to do it, so it will stick together. And this particular soil blocker, as I said, makes 4 soil blocks at a time, and these make 2-inch soil blocks, 2-inch square soil blocks, and that has been the size that has worked well for me. Now, down inside of here you see this little plastic finger that sticks through. And when you make your soil block, that's going to make an indentation in the top of the soil block that will allow you to put the seed. Now, as I mash down on the handle, you will take your soil. I usually fill a wheelbarrow full of my soil and get it real good and moist. And then you are going to take it and mash it down into the soil and pack it real good and tight. And then when I put it into my trays where I'm actually going to start my seeds, I can mash this handle and it pushes it out the other side. And if I turn it over, you can see that. So once I pack it full of my soil, I will push the handle down and you can see that it will eject the soil block into my trays. Now, the trays that I use are not specifically for seed starting. I was able to find these pretty cheaply. I think I got them online as well, and I've made a couple of soil blocks here. Obviously it's not time to start seeds, but I did want you to see them. So it makes a row of 4. You can see the indentions there on top, and that's where I will put my seed in. Now, one of these seed trays, you can see that there's holes in the bottom. I'll explain that in just a moment. But with this seed tray, I'm able to actually get 5 rows of soil blocks in here, and then I can actually put one on the side. Now it doesn't fill it completely or fully, but it does give me 6 rows of these soil blocks, so I can start 24 plants in one of these trays. And so to make the most of the room that I have, I do fill them kind of full. And I have even at times the one on the side I will move down to the end, and then I'll take individual soil blocks and kind of fill it in. You can see that the soil that I'm using right now is pretty dry. I just had some left over that I just wanted to show you what it does. Now from there, I've got these little containers here. I think I got these at Walmart, just regular old storage containers, and you can see that 2 of these trays will fit in there. So I'm looking at anywhere between 50 and 60 plants, usually somewhere around 50 in each one of these long trays. Now the reason that I do that is well, first of all, and I'll explain this more when I get to the seed starting video in the spring, I will cover these. I usually cover them with saran wrap and put them on the heating pad, and what that does is heats up the soil, creates kind of a greenhouse effect, and it kind of speeds along germination. And then I'll put the seed starting trays inside of this tub, And what that allows me to do is I will keep a layer of water just deep enough to where it's barely coming up through these holes. Now that's something that I have to check very regularly. You don't want to go 2 or 3 days and let everything dry out, because it's going to slow everything down. But I do keep water in the bottom of it. It's good and flat. It lays right on top of my heating pads, so the water, is not cold. It's able to still heat the soil that the seeds are planted in. And what it does is it wicks water up through these holes into the soil block and allows it to use the water that it needs, instead of me having to water from the top down, which is extremely time consuming. I can come and pour water down the side here, and it's basically, I can fill all 5 of those racks over there with water and come up here and do it in about 5 or 10 minutes in the afternoons, even if I have to fill them all up. So that's what I use to start them. Now from there, once my seedlings come up and it's time to move them up to something bigger, I just use basically solo cups. These have been used over and over and over, as you can see on this one. That one, it's not focusing in for me, but that one had a Hoss Cherokee bell pepper in it, and these have been used for several years. And what I will do is I will up pot them to this bigger container. Obviously they'll get some more of my soil around them so that the roots can continue to expand and grow. And from there, I take them straight out of here and put them into the garden when it's time to transplant. Now, I know right now you can see that these cups are still kind of dirty. These are left over from last year. And that's one thing that I do want to touch on also. This tub and these trays, as you can see over there, I've got some more trays sitting over there. They have already been cleaned, and I use a very, very light bleach solution. And right offhand, I don't remember, I've got it written down, of what I mix up for about 3 or 4 gallons of water. It's not very much, but I do scrub them out with a very low dose chlorine solution, and that is just to make sure that there's nothing left behind that's going to affect the growth of my seeds for next year. I want to start with a clean slate and make sure that there's no diseases or anything else left behind. The same thing will happen with these cups, and that's very time consuming. I basically just put them in one of these tubs in that solution and let them soak, and then I will rinse them out. And it never has failed me. It cleans them. It gets any of the diseases that might be left over, but I really think that it's worth the time for me to be able to clean them like that. And plus, I don't want to keep buying these plastic cups. I don't want to. I try, obviously everything I've got here is plastic, and I wish there was an easier way for that to happen, but right now there's not. So I will clean those and use them over and over and over again. So as you can see, it's a very simple process. It's very simple pieces that I use. None of this was extremely expensive, and considering how many years I've used them, they are very economical. You can see I've got a bunch of the trays over there. It came in one big pack, and I honestly don't remember how much they were at the time, but I guess one good thing about these is that they are reusable over and over and over. And at some point I will try, I wish I could find something to kind of take the place of all these plastics as they wear out, and I can find something else. But for now, they have done a very good job for me. For these, this next spring will be, I think, the 6th year that I've used them, and they have done exceptionally well, and they show no signs of breaking or wear. I usually get about 2, possibly 3 years out of the cups. Most of the time about 3 years. And so, you know, I do make the most out of them, the ones that I'm going to use. So anyway, I just wanted to show you this very simple process that I use. There's not a lot that goes into it, but I can start a lot of seeds all at one time. Like I said, probably 25 to 30 in each one of these trays, and 2 trays in each one. And so from there, as you can, if you do the math, you can see that translates to 250 to 300 plant starts. Now, obviously, I don't have enough room for that many plant starts. So some years I do cut back, and some years I fill every tray that I've got, and I give a lot of them away. I have been able to sell some of them, and I do have people that ask me for them and are willing to pay for them. But a lot of our family, they don't garden, to the extent that we do. But they do like to have, 3 or 4 or 5 tomato plants and a couple of pepper plants. Sometimes in pots on the porch. Sometimes they'll set them out at the edge of the yard and those kind of things. And I've just found that, some of the plant starts that you buy at the store do very, very well. We've got a local nursery here that has plant starts that I have had to use over the years when I've had some failures, that in certain types of peppers or certain types of tomatoes, they just didn't do well when I tried to plant them. And I've gone and gotten some from that nursery, and they've been very strong plants. They produce very well. But I have found that the ones that I can start myself, especially from quality seeds, as I showed you in one of the former videos on my seed organization, I'm very specific about who I buy seeds from, and I think it makes a difference as far as not only how many will germinate, but how strong that plant will be. And I've just found that they tend to do better. They tend to produce better. They're stronger plants. They don't. They're tougher plants. They can take more of the heat and humidity and dry spells here in Alabama. So it's another one of those kind of things, and that just trying to be more self-sufficient myself, and do it myself. And I like to go through the entire process of starting the seeds myself, all the way up through growing them, harvesting them, and putting them up for the rest of the year. To me, the whole process is fun. The whole process is something that I strive to do. And it's is it easier to go get the plant starts? It is, but they're also a lot more expensive around here at the big box stores from some of the name brand companies that have plant starts and vegetable starts. One of the sizes that I will get out of here in one little round pot can be $4 to $5 a piece, and I can pay $3 to $4 for a pack of seeds that has 50 seeds in it, and I can usually get 40 to 45 of those to the point where they can be planted in the garden. So you can see the cost savings. Now again, just like the rack, just like the grow lights and the heating pads, there is an initial cost to this, but as I explained in that other video, and I think I've already said it here, I intentionally looked for things that I could reuse over and over and over. I also looked for things that were lower cost to begin with. There were some other things online that would have served the same purpose that were more expensive, and I decided, I studied a lot of them, and I decided that this would be the best way to go. And again, this is going to be I honestly don't remember, but the 5th or 6th year that I'm still using these trays, and every year these trays are for the most part completely full of small little plants that I will then move up to the cups and then on to the garden. So that's just how I do it. Again, just like I said when we did the rack and the grow lights and those kind of things, there's many different ways of doing it, and I'm sure there's better ways than what I'm doing it, but I can't argue with the success, and that's what it's all about. That's getting good healthy plants to provide good healthy food that I can put up and my family can eat off of all year long. So there's more coming on plant starts. Obviously in the spring, when I really get into it, I'm going to make several videos on that. But I just wanted to share that with you and show you the simple little tools. Not only different sizes, like I said, this makes a 2-inch by 2-inch block. You can get bigger. You can get soil blockers that make more than 4 at a time. So it's just up to you how you want to do that. But this works well for me. I'm able to place them very precisely in this tray and get them extremely close together. And that's what I'm looking for is space savings, to be able to grow as many as I can in smallest amount of space before I move them out. The cups, once I do move them to the cups, these trays will come out, and the cups will actually, you can see in the end of the cups there is a hole in the bottom of each one, and I will stand them up in these trays as well, with the same idea that there's water in the bottom, and that water will wick up through those holes to the roots, and it will use what it needs to use, and it has been very successful for me. But I will get off now, and I will see you soon and share more of what I'm doing here at Butler Farms. And I would really appreciate it if you would like, share, and subscribe. We're still growing every day, and I still am so appreciative of all of you that watch and all of you that have subscribed. And until next time, this is James from Butler Farms.